Oh my God, I can't believe we're at episode 25 of the Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. Wow, right? Oh my gosh, this is a solo episode today, guys, and I want to chat with you guys about finding purpose in the nothingness. And I went through an experience that I deep dive into in the podcast episode about feeling this nothingness and my progression through the nothingness and how I've been able to hold that in the space of time. And I cannot wait to share this with you guys, to be able for you to feel it, to honor it, to be in it, to be able to maneuver yourself through this experience, to hold this and to understand why using silence and quieting our minds and being in the nothingness is such a key gift in this spiritual awareness, in this movement of life as we maneuver through. So I will not say anything else in this intro, and I will let you go experience this in your life, in your being, and feel this. And I am just so grateful to serve you this way. So again, episode 25, Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. Oh my gosh, guys, I am so grateful for today's conversation that we are about to lean into because, some of the pathway is about owning it and stepping in and having the courage and being in your power and understanding your gifts and understanding that you're here on a mission. But there's also part of the pathway that is found, discovered, and realigned in the nothingness. And let me start at the beginning part about what this nothingness is. It's the time and moments in our lives where there isn't anything else. It's just us doing nothing. And in that concept, we're like, oh my God, is this a real thing? Because most of us have been conditioned in this amazing North American energy to keep doing, right? We keep on a pulse. It's the hustle energy. It's keep going, work hard, work hard, work hard. Have two kids, make sure they're signed up for all these activities, go out and be and join the PTA and join all these clubs and be in your communities and philanthropy and serving others and go take the 5K run and keep moving through and join the yoga studio and do your workouts at 5 a.m. and read the books and all these things. And they're all warranted, guys. And I'm not here to diminish anybody who lives a life going, 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 going. But what I want you to feel today and what I want you to really take into your heart center today is that in the nothingness is the next level of expansion. It's the next level of understanding. And it's actually the availability we have to hear ourselves. And most of us are not taking enough time to step into that space to quiet our mind. And now this is a whole mind fuck on its own. But what happened to me over this weekend, and it was on Friday. So this podcast comes out on Tuesday. I'm recording it on the Monday. Like all of my solo episodes, guys, are recorded literally in real time in an energetic capacity. And I feel bad sometimes for Alyssa, my podcast producer, because she rolls with me. Because sometimes I'm like, I just wasn't feeling the recording this weekend. Like I need to get it done today. But she's amazing. And thank you so much, Alyssa, for always holding support in this space for me. But it was Friday and I literally wrote an email to my email list that said, I have nothing. I have nothing. I don't know what to say to you. There's nothing that's on my heart center today. Because usually what happens with emails is I lead within a concept of an energy. So something that's moving through me, some reminder that's coming through me to remind people about, some strategy to lean into, some ways of thinking, or some possibilities that you can take on. And then it aligns with something else that I'm up to. So it could be that I'm promoting a free masterclass or a masterclass or whatever it was. But on Friday, it was like, I have nothing. I don't know what to say to you guys today. And now, granted, I could have just not said anything and not sent an email out. But I was being directed by spirit to step in and actually own that and go, it's okay to not feel anything today. It's okay to not know anything today. And it's okay to be completely in the silence of life, coasting today, just moment by moment. And in that, as I reflected on it, and then at the bottom, what happened in that email was that I literally wrote out different dynamics of how people could work with me. If they weren't floating in the nothing and they were desiring something, they could go and lean into that. But the real pivotal key point was in that nothingness energy. How do we hold the nothingness energy? How do we move it through inside of this space to be able to actually be and understand that we are these beautiful beings of light, that we are these beings moving through an energy, and that we as humans create the distractions in the energetic field, that we as humans create this intensity of energy moving through us that we think we have to keep doing things instead of dropping into the being where the most potency of our energy lies. So as I reflected on this on Friday and really stepped in, now granted, guys, I've done a lot of work in this. Like for me, being and silencing the mind and pulling back has been one of the biggest gifts of surrender that I've been able to align inside my field that has made massive shifts in how I do life. I'm not just doing life anymore to do life. It's all in alignment in a way that it's in my vibration to serve humanity and serve the world and serve my mission, serve my soul and serve my heart and serve in the energy that I get to align every single day. However, it's a conscious decision that I still need to make. And a lot of you guys are at this precipice. A lot of you guys are working within this right now. A lot of you guys are stepping into the space of understanding that it's not just your doing any longer, that who are you being? And where in your day are you taking time to connect with yourself in the quietness of the day? So sometimes us as humans, and I've heard this before, that it's sometimes the hardest relationships that we have is the one within ourselves. And if we were put into a dark room with no cell phones, on our own, by ourselves, with not even any light, most people would freak the fuck out. They would not be able to handle the fact that they were by themselves. They cannot be in a room by themselves. Never mind taking away their like crutch, which is our cell phones, our instant gratification, our connection into the world and outside world, right? So like we have been gifted these beautiful phones to connect with people, social media, to be able to step in and honor different dynamics of things. So when they get taken away from us, right, it's going to be challenging for us to step into the space. There was one time I forgot to actually bring my phone when I went to Vegas on a vacation. I was going for like 5 days to meet my ex-boyfriend there. At the time, he was there for a show, and I literally forgot my phone in the car. So such an amazing blessing, yet such a mind fuck at the same time when you're used to communicating. When he was in meetings, I'd be like, okay, I'm going by the pool. I send him an email because I had my computer. I'm going by the pool. I'll be down there for a while. If you come back to the room and I'm not here, then come to the pool and get me. Right. And that would be what would go on. He'd be like, I'll be back by 4 p.m. Just be ready by 4. So then I would just like ask somebody, do you know what time it is? And be able to flow through life that way. And it was interesting not having a phone, not taking photos, not being present online, not stepping into that space, and really honoring this downtime. And I watch it in my field of awareness right now when I turn my phone off for a couple hours throughout the day. Like that is also something I guarantee you, because I watch this happen in my own field. I guarantee you, like I go to reach for my phone every single time. I'm like, where's my phone? Where's my phone? And it's like this addiction that we have within our world and in our lives. And some of you may have mastered this already. And some of you may be like, I totally get it. I'm already on board. Everything moves for me. This, and this happens, right? Inside of that space. But most of you guys are probably just like me in this space of awareness going, shit, like, when do I actually honor quietness? When do I actually drop into the nothingness to have no plans, to just be? And I know some of you guys have kids and some of you guys have relationships and some of you guys have different dynamics in your world. But every single one of us, if we actually stepped into this alignment and really stepped into paying attention to this, can effectively make this move, can effectively shift and change this, to be able to step into this space, to be able to maneuver this forward, to be able to take this on in this perspective of things, right? So allowing yourself to really step into this space, to be able to feel this and to honor this. Where in your week, this coming week, can you step into nothingness? Can you step into the quietness of your life? Can you actually be with yourself without electronics, without, stimulation from others, without anything but you? And most of us have a really hard time with this. Why this is such a pivotal key and why this is showing up in my world today to share with you is because in this quietness of moments, in this self-connection that we step into, are the pivotal pieces within our world that we desire to shift in. We learn more about ourselves when we do this kind of work. We actually can accelerate our intuition and feel and hear and be more in those spaces because of the fact that we are still. And a lot of us are addicted to the chase and we're addicted to the hustle. But that is what society has conditioned us to feel and to think, and wants us to believe that when we are hustling and when we are working hard and when we are doing, we are better people. Because when we do that, we literally dampen our intuition, and we dampen our connection to self, and we dampen our connection to enlightenment, and we dampen our connection to extraterrestrial, dimensional connections and soul connections, because of the fact that it's all noise. The more noise happening in the world right now, the more we can't hear ourselves. We cannot hear ourselves. We cannot. So I've said this before, and some of you guys follow me on social, and you guys have seen me in different dynamics on social, but I didn't know when I moved to Costa Rica what that actually meant for me. I like grew up in Winnipeg. I moved to Toronto. I lived in the suburbs of Toronto for a lot of years, from Newmarket to Richmond Hill to Vaughan. Like, I lived in a little bit more faster pace. I never lived in the center of Toronto, nor would I ever have been able to hold that energy. But the few years before I moved here, I was up north in Aurelia. Like, I first went Keswick to Aurelia, and I kept creeping north and north and north and north, allowing myself to feel what it felt like to not be aligned in that chase all the time, to actually ground in center. The last place I was living in, we backed onto a golf course. I was about 10-minute walk to the actual lakefront. So like, I had some dynamics of nature around me and didn't understand what it meant to actually fully be immersed in nature until I moved to Costa Rica, and to understand what it fully meant to be present in life and to embody. You know, we call it Tico time here, but it's like, most people don't make plans in advance, right? We're not planners. We're not highly scheduled. Of course, we have some couple key things, you know, that jump in, like birthdays or other dynamics of celebration, or someone's parents are here or whatever, and we align based on that. But it's like, everything is more done in real time. And I didn't understand what that meant. And sometimes that means I can be there, and sometimes that means I can't, because I run an online business. I have commitments to make. I have master classes and programs I teach at certain times. I have client calls. I've got all these other commitments in my world, because when I moved here, I didn't move into like a retirement space where I wasn't going to work. I moved and brought the business to Costa Rica with me. So I still work, not every day, but on the daily, pretty much. And I step into the space when I am guided and directed to. But I didn't understand at the time when I moved here how much of a gift it was for me to be able to step into this space and quiet my mind, to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to the sun rising, to be able to like be tired at 9 p.m. and actually go to sleep early, to be able to honor my body and walk in the sand and be in the sun and move through a certain dynamic of energy. But it was only because of the fact, A, that I made an aligned choice to get here, but B, that I allow myself to feel this. I could create a hustle energy here in Costa Rica. I could be go, go, go all the time. I could, if I choose to. I could get up, I could go to the market, I could go to here, I could go to the coffee shop, I could move, I could go work out, I could go to yoga, but I'll be tapped out at a certain level of time of actually doing things in this space. However, I can do more from home. But it's also different, because it's like there's these breaks in my day naturally that I honor and move through and allow to have to come into fruition into my world. But I make a choice every day. Where can I drop in? Meditative states, breath work, being, closing my eyes just here. Like, and I may, right after I'm done this podcast, close my eyes to be able to take a moment and breathe and break, right? Or maybe I'll go get my post up for today on Instagram. I don't know. I'm going to follow that flow. And I have that availability and flexibility to do that. But I've also maneuvered my life to be that way. I've also paid attention to the fact that when I am in hustle, when things are really tight in my schedule, when things are literally too intense, I cannot handle it. My energy can't. I can't serve within that field. Even today, I literally had an appointment scheduled. Long story about all of this, but I was like, I'm moving this. Like, I can't hold energy in this space for this person. That's not a client. It's not a commitment of a program. It's somebody trying to sell me something. But I was directed by spirit to jump in to do this call, to either feel out this opportunity, to see what it is that they're actually creating. I know it's not for me at this time. So I was like, let's push it back 2 weeks, because that's what my schedule allowed anyways for my flow and being able to support that call. And I feel really good about opening up the afternoon. Plus, I need to go to the pharmacy anyways. I got to get some magnesium. So that's what I'm doing today, in case you were wondering. However, I want to bring this back into this point in time. And by the way, welcome to my random thoughts. This is what happens to me consistently all the time. I have these random thoughts. but bring it back into this energy for you to be able to hear this and feel this coming from me. Every single one of us has this desire inside of us to live a life of purpose, to make some kind of impact, to serve humanity somehow, and to live a life that we desire. Now, some of you may be more peaked in some of these categories than others. Some of you feel all four of these in your world, and you're like, yes, I totally feel this, all of this. And some of you are like, well, I feel one of those for sure. And that's amazing. Wherever you fit, like, there's no judgment coming off over here. You do not have to embody all four of these. Okay. I'm just stating it out loud. But somewhere in our world, we are driven by this. We desire this. We want to have this kind of life in some way, shape, or form, right? In some way, shape, or form. And in that space, though, in order for us to fully embody that, in order for us to fully feel that, we need to drop into quietness, to the stillness, to nothingness, in order to understand how that looks and feels in our world. And without taking the time, and also what happens within that is then we find the crutches in our life. Then we find the trauma and the inconsistencies in our world. Then we find the way that we've been hiding from humanity. Then we find, the dark shit that goes on. And then the shadow work needs to come through and maneuver through. I'm not saying this is all daisies and roses, guys. We are a project. We are a journey. We come into earth to have an experience in this journey. That's why we're here. That's why we showed up. That's why we're in this learning experience. But most of us are forgetting the fact that we are here for a reason, to learn and experience things. And we cannot fully embody them, and we cannot fully step into them until we quiet ourselves enough to be able to feel and hold it. We can shift energy in the quietness. We can move through traumatic experiences when we get quiet in the nothingness. We can get to the root of our truth being there. We can accelerate our spiritual gifts and accelerate our intuition and move through some stuff as we move through the quietness. But inside of that space, we need to drop into that and feel that and be that and own that and take the time necessary to go there. I love reading, and reading for me is a beautiful experience. And lately, the beginning parts of this year, I was into my very smut novel reading. I love erotic fiction. I love very, dramatic maneuvering in books, we'll call it. And it fuels the duality within me. And it ignites something in me with self-expression. It ignites up my boldness, my rebellion. Like, it just fits in my mold. I'm coming out of that arena right now. I'm not really inclined these days to actually read it, but I have stepped into a lot more personal development books. I'm really in this process of prosperity, wealth initiative, wealth codes, ancient wisdom. So I'm reading these books that really excite me to learn more, to get into more. Some of them are huge confirmations that I already do this work. And some of them are like, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I forgot about that, right? And that fuels my soul. But in the quietness of it, like, I literally turn everything off and I grab a book, like a hardcover book or a softcover book, and I open it up and I sit on this couch most of the time with my coffee or my tea, and I jam out and I take that time for myself. Some of you may not have the liberty like I do. I don't have kids. I'm single. I'm living in Costa Rica. I have an online business. I don't go to a 9-to-5 job. I understand that I have some dynamics that may be different than your dynamics. But here's what I know. Every single person, if they make time, people make time for things that are important. People make time for things that are important. Let me say that again. People make time for things that are important. If you connecting within yourself and really understanding who you are and really aligning the soul mission in this vibration and understanding your pathway and increasing your intuition and living this desired life is important for you, you can make time to do the tasks and activities that you're being called to turn off your phone for an hour, to step into the space of quieting your mind and meditating, if that's what you're being called to do, to just go sit outside and listen. How often do you listen to the birds or feel the wind on your face or allow the sun to bless you? How often do you do that? Probably not as often as you desire, or you never even thought that that was a thing up until right now. The sun is one of the most healing properties that we have been given on this earth. Never mind the plants that birth through the sun's rays, the sun. And some of you guys are shit scared of it. You're like putting on sunglasses and putting on a hat and wearing your 30 block or your 50 block sunscreen. Guys, I have never put on sunscreen at all since moving to Costa Rica. Do I judge people that do? No. But here's what I know. My body holds a vibration, and that sun accelerates and heals this vibration. So I want to honor it. And sure, some days I've had a little bit of a rosy skin from being out in the sun. I pay attention. It's not like I'm going out for 8 hours a day laying in the middle of the fucking sun on the beach. You know, we go for walks that are an hour and a half long, right? But I'm honoring this connection within the sun that purifies my body. I actually crave it. After a week, if I haven't been on a beach walk, I'm like, I need to go. Whether I go by myself or I go with friends, it doesn't matter, right? I need to go. I need to get this done. As you guys can see, if you guys are watching the video, I got a pretty cool tan line that I honor. And I try to make it like the least amount of tan lines I can possibly get. I'm kind of anal that way when it comes to tan lines, but whatever. Anyhow, I digress. I just want to get you guys back into this vibration of understanding that it's okay to do nothing. And if you are challenged in the nothing and you find it super fucking hard to turn off your phone for 5 minutes and not have it in your hand, this is going to be more imperative for you than anybody else, because you are so accustomed to getting answers from somewhere else, to hustling in your life, to keeping it up. I guarantee you you're fucking stressed the fuck right out. I guarantee you you're stressed the fuck right out right now if that is the life you live. And I have no judgment over here, guys. I used to live in the same vibrational alignment. I'm here to give you a gift today to remind you of this purity within you. Your breath and your connection within yourself is a beautiful gift, but most of us are not conscious about it. We're not taking the time to honor it. We're not stepping into this space to move it through. Quick podcast today, quick dump into your field, quick alignment, quick movement. I just wanted to birth this into you. Because yes, we can do all the clearing work, and yes, we can go into the shadow work, and yes, we can do the mental work, and we can embody it and move it through. But if we are not taking the time to quiet ourselves, to actually hear what we have to say, to actually step into this space, to allow ourselves to be present right now, we're doing ourselves a disservice. And it's time for us to really lean into this and really create that potency. All the pieces are necessary. All the pieces are necessary. Find time now to go live and breathe in the nothingness, to allow yourself to do nothing and see what changes for you. And like always, guys, if you are feeling this, share it out on social, help us spread the word, send it to a friend, give us a review, whatever that looks like for you. Because my mission on the earth is to literally spread this light into more people as much as I can, to get out, to help people really, really accelerate these gifts, these knowings, these knowledge, so that they can go out and bust through what it is they're going through, to create their ripple effect, to shine their light brighter. And it all starts with us. So I urge you, you like this, help me spread the word, help me share it out. And just so grateful that we are connected. And I can't wait to see you on the next episode.